Uh, Kristen.
David, that's so funny. We were laughing because I've had the exact same experience.
Uh-huh.
Some a little bit more, I should quit smoking than others, but yeah, same
Right.
thing. No alcohol went first and then caffeine. It's like, what was I doing this for?
Uh-huh.
But my question is unrelated to that. My question is really about the feeling of excitement, which is
Mm-hmm.
a really like targeted feeling for me that used to come with outside sourced
Mm-hmm.
things like, oh, I'm excited about going on vacation here, or going to this bar or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? So do you have excitement or like how's that reframed for you over the years of meditation?
Mm.
Asking me. And David,
Yeah.
you want to go to
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Excitement. Well, I found that the the excitement threshold is much lower than it used to be. You know, I mean, my wife and I, we take a walk in the neighborhood. I go, okay, this is about as much excitement as I can stand, or about as much excitement as I need. And then we'll go down to Main Street here in Santa Monica on a Friday night or Saturday night where there's a bit of a bar scene, and that pounding music and people, you know, it's loud. People shouting conversations over each other, and you know, tossing back beers and just oh my god, it's just the prospect of it seems so exhausting. It's like, man, that's working so hard for excitement. The thing is, even the idea that excitement, right? The idea that excitement per se is a desirable, necessary thing, right? That's it.
you just gave, yeah, permission in that way when you just said it. I felt, when you said like, oh yeah, because this whole time as a human, I've been putting it up, on a pedestal. Like, we
Yeah,
gotta keep that going. Yeah, we gotta feed that thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I remember, um, God, way back when I was, I don't know, in my, around 20, early 20s or something, I had this whole idea about how I wanted to die, and it involved being on a peak experience on a particular drug, and while I was, at the peak of some sexual romp with my girlfriend, and like, okay, I want all that, and the fireworks are going off, and I don't know, the band's playing the Star Spangled Banner or something, like peak experience, and then yeah, then it's okay to die, right? The whole premise of that that okayness, that satisfactoriness, that goodness, the desirable kind of life experience we want to have, is is on a one-to-one correlation with the level of excitement. It's a big assumption because it's fed by the whole culture. It's fed by most of the people that you know. It's fed by old assumptions we have ourselves. It's certainly fed by the commercial culture that's trying to sell you stuff all the time. And what's it telling you? You'll be excited. You'll be excited. You know. And then you see like all the clickbait news things, or ads for things. Um, um, you'll be shocked. You'll be surprised. You'll be. What if there's no surprises left? Right? What if there's no shocks left? Let's go on the assumption. Let's assume there's no excitement left around the next corner for us. No excitement left, no shock left, no surprise left. Can we be, can we find the place, can you intuit right now within yourself, the place where that is 100% fine? There's only one place where that's 100% fine, and that is when we're resting as the I, as the experiencer, rather than in the field of experience. Once we're in the field of experiences, then and and our whole sense of well-being is defined in terms of what's happening in the field of experience, then of course we want the most intense experience, right? Now, even without meditation, even without, direct knowledge of the I, the experiencer, a certain amount of maturity will start to mellow that out, right? So, I mean, you see how people's musical tastes may change. Where when they're younger, they need like total just headbanging, boom, then later they may be able to, as they get more mature, be able to appreciate more nuanced kinds of music, maybe, more creative jazz or exquisite classical music or even just more, artistically gorgeous pop music, but just it's not just in terms of what's the most intense headbanging stuff. And the same thing with relationships. When we're younger, we tend to think of a romantic relationship. The the satisfactoriness of this is completely in terms of it's got to be the most intense whirlwind of just romantic, the thrill a minute, it's got to be like a trip to the amusement park, let's go on the roller coaster again and again, steeper hills, right? But at a certain point, if you're paying attention, and evidently some people are not, but if you're paying attention, you start to notice, God, those hills are getting exhausting, right? And some people really have a problem then that, then they despair. Then they call that, midlife crisis or something, right? The thrills are gone. How do I get it back? Okay, divorce the old wife, buy the red convertible. And it's so pathetic. um, um, the shiny new car is going to get dented up after a while. The shiny new wife is going to be, just like the old wife, in another 2 weeks or something. You just see it happen over and over. The only significant change to that situation comes from when we no longer define the okay. We no longer are looking for the of life, the ultimate in the external experiences. That we find that the real is the I, is the experiencer. Right? We go through life defining the in terms of experience. Okay, here's the tea. I like the tea. I want the tea. I love tea. I'm going to drink the tea. Here comes the tea. Wow, tea gives me a bunch of happiness, a bunch of satisfaction. But, you've heard me say this before. If we take the tea, put it under the electron microscope, we'll find carbon atoms, hydrogen, oxygen. We're not going to find any atoms. There's no satisfaction. There's no happiness in there. Right? So but we experience it. So there's only one other place where the happiness, the satisfaction, the can be. At that moment, I've fulfilled the thirst for tea, and that gives me permission to settle back into myself. I've fulfilled that desire for a particular experience, and I settle back into the experiencer whose nature is awe. Right? So, for tea, substitute whatever. When you're playing your music, oh, you hit that chord that's just ooh, right? And it's just where's that ooh, that ah? Again, you're sinking into yourself. You're playing golf. You sink the hole in one, and you go, oh, I've got a lot of happiness in golf. Now, at the moment you sink the hole in one, and you go, ah, yeah, you're no longer playing golf. Golf has fulfilled itself. So what we do in meditation is we eliminate the middleman rather than requiring some tea or some golf or music or orgasm or something to give ourselves permission to sink back into ourselves. We just sink back directly into ourselves. We find the awe right here. And then more and more we we're free of confusing that awe with any external conditions. And so more and more, that awe, which is the I, which is being, like whatever we're doing, whatever is happening, whatever we are doing, we're enjoying being. And more, that's the dominant note of our life. That's the headline. That's the lead. As they say in journalism, don't bury the lead. The lead's always been there. We've been burying it, right? Beingness, the infinite satisfactoriness of our own beingness has always been there, but it's been buried, lost in the background. We're bringing it to the foreground. We stop burying the lead. So, what's going on today? What's going on in this moment, Dean? Oh, I'm enjoying being. And then, oh yeah, and I'm drinking tea and I'm choosing colors for my new house or whatever we're doing. Are you hearing that? So what this does is it means we become free from our addiction to intensity. Free from the addiction to intensity. And man, that just saves us a whole lot of wear and tear. And it doesn't mean, okay, I have to stop drinking now. I have to stop listening to heavy metal. It means you can do whatever you enjoy, but you're just less and less a slave to it. Sounds like a good deal to me. Okay?
Yeah, that's great. That actually ties into a bit of the David one too, for me at least, that
Yeah.
I identified that for me, the intensity of a caffeine high or the happy drunk I used to be as I drank,
Mm-hmm.
I loved those. So the
Mm-hmm.
intensity, the desire for that extremist feeling has softened where I no longer want it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. 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 Then if you want a cup of coffee, if you want to, you want a glass of wine or something, you can have it. But
Right.
you don't need it.
Yes, that's the change.
Yeah.
That's the change.
It's not required for your sense of well-being. Well,
It's
isn't
not
that?
a thing.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, the well-be the is not it's no, it was never a thing, but we confused it with the thing. We thought it was the tea. We thought it was the orgasm. Not that there's anything wrong with the orgasm or the tea or all that, but everything becomes optional, and that's freedom. And I've tried slavery and I've tried freedom. I prefer freedom.
And I never associated it with freedom, but that's a great frame for it. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. You bet. Thank you. Good. What else tonight?